Welcome to our podcast, Table of Four. I am Sunny.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Lena.
And I'm Jorge.
Let's
Yeah.
start. Why are we doing this podcast, you guys?
We finally did it, you guys. We finally started it. It was in the works for I think a long time. What do you guys think about it? What say you, Sonny? What are your thoughts?
Well, I always wanted to do a podcast. Right now podcasts are popular, like everyone's doing them, but I do like the idea of just, kind of just not rambling on, but just putting your thoughts out there for people to listen if you want to
Yeah.
listen to your thoughts. So that's why I always would always want to do a podcast. So I always thought podcasts were kind of cool.
I was just worried because I think when we were like brainstorming our kind of ideas and stuff like that, because you know how everyone's doing a podcast because I think of COVID and stuff like that. So like I
Yeah.
think I was just like, should we do a podcast because everyone else is doing it? But I think we just kind of decided it was just kind of a fun thing to do. What do you think, Lena? Do you think it's like a good thing, that everyone's doing a podcast, or what do you think about that kind of stuff?
Yeah, well, I had a podcast and yeah, like you said, like I did it during the quarantine
Hmm.
and it was really weird. Like it was something that I really enjoyed doing, but it was like a lot of like my rambling just of like
Yeah.
what was going on during the pandemic and it was just a lot, but it was like kind of like my journal. But it is really cool to be like doing this podcast now with like all of you because it is like, well, because we're family. Ah, surprise.
Yeah, it's
We're
like a family thing.
Surprise!
surprise. It's a family thing. So since we're family, it's really nice to be able to like talk with you all and like get your opinions on different things and stuff. And I'm me personally, I'm really hopeful for the future. What do you think, Jorge?
Oh no, I'm super excited. Like, yeah, let's hop on that bandwagon, right? Like, let's go, let's do a podcast. But no, but in all serious, like it's I'm excited because it's gonna be a lot of fun, right? Like we're all from different age groups, so you'll get different
Mhm.
opinions from all of us. Like, it's not just like my age or Sunny's age, Jonathan. Like, we're all over this the spectrum when it comes to like our age and how we act. But I don't know. I think Sunny wants to say a little more about what's to come.
Um, I'm just really excited to do, I guess, this project with our family because
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel like when we were younger, we don't we always did videos or little project thingies, but we never
Mhm.
really act on it,
Mhm.
you know. And so this is our very first time, I guess putting our projects out there for people to hear or see. And so I just really think it's cool doing this right now, and what's happening right now we're talking into this podcast. So I just think it's really cool. You know, I just yeah.
Yeah. I definitely feel that sentiment of like that's just how we were like growing up where we were always like making like dumb videos or like little
Mhm.
skits
Yeah.
and stuff, but like
Mhm.
we never actually like put it out there for like people to see. It was just like, oh, like we're being funny just for ourselves and like we could have been
Mhm.
putting those things up like on YouTube and stuff, but like we just didn't think to do that because it's like no, like that's just like our personal kind of like videos or like oh that that's too embarrassing. But like now we're actually
Mhm.
like putting something so that way like everyone can see like
Mhm.
oh yeah, see our opinions or see like what we think about things and how goofy we all are because yeah, we are all very very goofy. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how everyone like portrays like or see how our personalities like shine through in the podcast.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, because I wanted to add on, I think, some of I think, social media, like, I guess you could say outlets of it, because I think for me, I was always fascinated about kind of doing stuff online. Like, I think with, like, for me, I'm very, like, gaming oriented when it comes to, like, personal stuff. Like, I think on my YouTube channel, ever since I was young, ever since, like, I think what the little, PlayStation software was like, oh, you can make these videos. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I was, like, doing, like, the little, like, I think it's called Share Factory over there. And I just was kind of
Mhm.
messing with all the settings, like adding little stickers, little intros, and that stuff kind of fascinated me. And I don't know, it's like I want to say like it's a dream job
Mm.
if I ever got like to that point, because you know how everyone's like they're trying to become like a big old YouTuber, like a famous social media influencer and stuff like that. And I
Yeah.
think that's cool. I think it's
Mm.
cool because like it's something that I think everyone kind of wants a shot at, and if they make it, cool. If they don't, it's still kind of fun making those
Mm.
things. And I don't know. I think with this podcast, like I always kind of, I think it's another cool thing to add under like my little like social media belt, like another notch on my belt, which is cool because I think like it kind of helps us kind of um, kind of grow together, I'd say, because like for me, it's always kind of been my own thing. But then I know with Sunny, she has her vlogs and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
with you, Jorge, do you
Yeah.
have any stuff that you're working on per se, like maybe videos or maybe ideas that you have in the works?
Well, I've never like I love the concept, right? I love the concept of
Hmm.
just, having your own community and building that up, and that I think that's always amazing, right? Like when you can get
Hmm.
people to like listen, because like I said, I work, I work at a school, so it's like I have my own
Hmm.
following there, right? Because kids will always
Hmm.
gravitate to people that have that positive vibe. But but having that outside of work, I feel like it'd be like a whole other beast, right? Like you're like, oh man, like these
Hmm.
people are they're actually coming to me because they don't know who I am. They haven't met me, but they find
Mm.
something intriguing about me or us. Like, there's no yeah, it's just crazy, right? Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think yeah, it's all like what fascinates me about this podcast so much is the fact that like it's all of us together because
Hmm.
I just love like spending time with all of you. Like that's just like
Yeah.
one of my favorite things to do. Like yeah, like when I did my podcast solo, like it was just me and like I don't think I'm like boring, but like obviously it's a lot more fun with like more people and everything. And like I said, like I know how we are with each other, so it's gonna be fun. The podcast, like the direction that we want to go is like obviously we want to keep it very like fun and lighthearted, but we also want to get to talking about certain topics that are like maybe a little harder to talk about. It's not going to be like Debbie Downer Central or anything, but like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
serious topics kind of thing, you know. We want to bounce around, but yeah, it's still going to be just, very casual.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Do you guys think we'll ever get like a big following, or do you think we'll like? I mean, we're not really focused on that, but like, do you think like if we ever get a big following, and I think I kind of trying to tie this to a anonymity, like like being anonymous and stuff like that. Do you think if we
Mm.
were to get like I guess a community and stuff like that, would we? I guess I don't know, miss that kind of anonymous feeling, or do you think you kind of embrace it, or what do you guys think? This is kind of open for anybody, really. Like, what would you think about ever reaching that point if we, ever get that following?
I mean, for me, I don't I mean, I guess, you're about privacy, or I guess privacy won't be as private, like, our private life won't be private, you know?
Hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I think well, I guess because I don't really think we're gonna be, like, known worldwide, you know what I mean? I don't
Oh
believe we're
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be,
yeah.
like, household names, like, even, like, people will remember us for, like, generations. I don't think happen.
Mm.
But, like,
Mm.
I guess I like the idea of people, not knowing me, like, popular, but, like, I guess, like, for me, since, like, I have social media, I like having an audience,
Mm.
I like
Hmm.
having people there and knowing that they're talking to me,
Mm.
because like, right now, I'm just starting out and, like, I don't get that much, traffic in my talks or in my YouTube, but, like, it would be cool 'cause, like, I know that on my YouTube, like, I have just these 2 people comment, like, "Oh, I loved your video, it's really cool and really funny," and I really like that, like, I'm like, "Oh, wow, I just got, like, some random person and they like my content," and it gives you
Hmm.
that good feeling because, like,
Mm.
oh,
Yeah.
like, what I'm doing actually, like, something people like, you know? But
Mm.
I never really think about my privacy or whatever. I think I can go to a Target and no one's like, "Oh my gosh, it's sunny." I don't think that's ever
Oh
gonna
Yeah.
my
happen.
god, it's sunny.
No, yeah,
Funny.
I just feel like, I feel like I'm just fine, and I really want just niche, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
Having
a
a
yeah.
niche thing.
niche
Gotcha.
thing and having an audience, I feel like that's
Mm.
fine, but I don't if, like, everyone's gonna know me. I mean, if it does happen, I really don't know because, like, I don't know, I can't really stop that, but but
Yeah. Um, I think for me, like the whole anonymous, I can't say that word,
Yeah,
but
that's a hard one for me too. Yeah.
me being like anonymous, like that is something that I feel like I will struggle with, like especially in the beginning, like of like right now, like yeah, like I'll spoiler or whatever, like my real name like isn't Lena, like, but that's
Wait,
just
what?
right. Gasp! Where's the explosion sound? Boom! The
bum, bum,
Oh
bum,
right,
bum.
like that's not my real name, but like that's what I want to go by because oh my
Oh,
god.
oh God.
You said explosion.
exactly explosion, right? That's what I needed, right? But yeah, like since that's not like my real name, it's something that's going to be difficult for me in the sense of like because I also have like my ASMR channel that I have, like that's what I go by. I go by Lena. But
Mm,
everyone knows me obviously, or the people that know me now, like they know me by my real name, and so it is going to be like just a weird thing to like navigate with people to be like, oh, like just so you know, like I'm going by Lena, and like the whole like asking questions and stuff like that stuff
mm,
makes me feel like really insecure and stuff. Like I don't want people to like judge me, being like, oh, like who does she think she is? She's changing her
mhm.
name, and like who does she think she is? Like Lady Gaga or something? Like no, like.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to make like this like big persona of like oh like I'm just like I'm being like someone fake. Like I just wanted to go with like a different name. Like that's it. But
Mhm.
yeah, I feel like that is something that I am going to struggle with just because I am just like a self-conscious person and like I don't
Mhm.
want people to like judge me for like or think that I'm like being someone that I'm not when, I'm still the same person. It's just my name is different and that's it.
No, yeah.
Yeah, because I think so. I want to say, oh God, this word, anonymity. That word is that's very important to you, is what you're saying, huh? Like it's something that you kind of want to have that for yourself, rather
Yeah,
than
like
kind of go out there, you know?
yeah. Like I still want like a part of me still will want to be like anonymous, but at the same
Hmm.
time I'm like, no, like I wouldn't mind it kind of thing. It's just like I don't fear judgment from like other people. It's more of
Yeah.
like judgment from like
Mhm.
family of them being like,
There's the bomb
saying
right there.
something about
Mhm.
yeah,
Family.
right?
Yeah.
There's the bomb.
Boom,
Boom.
family. Where's the boom?
There's the
It's
boom.
fine.
The vine
Wait,
boom.
there it is. There it is.
Yeah, there it is. You know,
So
I
But
just
you know,
yeah.
found
like
out about this.
Lena, like Lena said, it's tough, right? Because
Hmm.
our family, no offense, they're probably listening. They're really nosy. They like to be in our business. I'm
Mhm.
not afraid to
Yeah.
tell it how
Yep.
it is because that's
Yeah.
just I
No,
can be
that's
blunt
true.
because I just don't care, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
family will be
Mhm.
family and
Yeah.
they'll always be there for you. But like we got those nosy ones out there, and I'm sure other people can
Mhm.
relate to this. They're like, oh man,
Oh,
like oh
absolutely. Yeah.
I just
Mm.
posted a picture of myself at this one place. They're like, oh, look at so and so spending all his money because blah 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 blah. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
No, that's true.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, cause I don't know, cause like, especially for me, since, like, I really don't care for judgment at all, my whole life, I've been, like, honestly, like, judged or, like,
Mm.
bullied, so, like, I'm honestly, like, numb at the point,
Hmm.
like, even if judge me, I really yeah, that's how I feel all the time. No, but but, like, yeah, like, I don't really care about, people judging me. Like, even for me, like, on in some of my videos, like, I have no makeup on, I'm barefaced, you know what I mean? I have, like you
Mm.
see, like, stubble, like, I hate my facial hair, but I put it out there because, it's just me. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm just showing
Mhm.
my just who I am,
Mhm.
and, and also being funny. You mean I think it's funny when I look, I guess, ugly or like a clown, because
Uh,
that's just me. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
I really don't care what people think about me at all. Like
Mm.
I give zero like fucks. Like I just don't care,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
Mhm.
Tell
so
how it is,
even
yeah.
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 So,
And
like, I really don't care about, how I am online because I
Mhm.
feel like I tell, like, how Lena was saying, like, "Oh, like, I don't have a different persona, still, like, me, even though like, my name," and that's, like, me, like, I feel like I'm always myself 100% all the time, every day,
Mhm.
I don't think I ever, like, am a different person, and so
Mhm.
that's why I podcast, it doesn't I don't really care about, I guess, see, I mean, I do want some privacy, really, like I feel like everyone should have some privacy, like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just fine putting my face out there. You mean I
Yeah.
find my
Mhm.
face yeah.
Sunny, you
Yeah.
seem to be having a couple of technical difficulties with your audio for some reason. I don't know why. Like every
and
once
I
in a
I
while, you
think
just kind of like cut out.
I think it's where you're speaking into the mic. It seems like you're speaking to the top of it when you should be speaking in front of it.
Oh yeah,
I'm
like
speaking right here, hello?
It just
Like,
cuts in and out.
yeah, it just
so
cuts
First
in and
episode,
out.
baby.
yeah,
Right,
let's
it's our
go.
first
First
episode. Like
episode.
like that's just gonna
Sorry.
No, you're
No,
happen.
no,
good, you're
you're
It's
good.
good.
You're good. You're
okay.
good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
but
No,
like you were
yeah.
it's
saying,
just part of
Sunny,
it.
like you were saying, like it's tough to like, and it's not like you kind of had to power through like that dealing with all that, you know, for
Mhm,
lack of better words, people were toxic. They were toxic
Mhm.
towards who you were or who you are, and and it takes a lot of like courage and energy for yourself to be like, you know what, I don't care what they say, this is me, I'm gonna be me. I've
mhm,
gotten to that point where I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm just me. Like, if people don't like you, that's too bad. But
Mhm.
I'm sure there's other people out there that can relate. Like they're trying to get to that point, and it's not, it just takes time, right? Like you can get there if you keep putting yourself out there, but like, if you keep caring what people think about you or say about you, then you're just gonna keep putting yourself
mhm.
down, and you just gotta get past that.
No, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because like, luckily for me, I really love you and accept me. You mean, like, sometimes I do think, like, wow, how lucky that, like, literally everyone in my family accepts me for who I am. Like, even grandma, even, like, grandma, she was in a time where, like, she's, like, super Jesus, like, Holy Bible, and she's still ex
Holy Bible.
like, accepts me for who I am, so, like,
Holy
I
Bible
feel
grandma.
real yeah, and so I feel really, um, like, privileged, because a lot of people don't have that, every single person in my family accepts me for who I am, and so I feel like that's why I'm so strong and so, like, like I don't give no fucks because, like, I
Mhm,
just
yeah.
have I guess, like, family's my rock, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I feel like
Mhm.
whatever I, like, make a decision in my life, I feel like they will, like, be behind me, like, stand next to me. I support you, love you, and so I feel like
Mhm.
that's why I am who I am today, you know?
Yeah. And I feel like that is something that I would like to talk about like in more depth, like in another episode of the podcast, because that is
Mhm,
something that I really am like mm, more like intrigued by. Because yeah, like I don't know your whole story of like how you felt like going through all the things that you went through and stuff. Like I mean, I
mhm,
think we've all been through like some crazy stuff, you know. But
mhm,
obviously, like it was just different paths that we were all taking that led us to having like really sad times or like really
Yeah.
hard times, you know.
yeah.
So I think that is something that yeah that I would like to talk about in a future episode.
Yeah, cause like, just for you people out there, like, I don't think I ever told my, family I was, queer or, like, LGBT, like, I never came out. Like, the people I came out was, like, literally my mom, my dad, and
Mhm.
brother, and grandma. Yeah, and so, like, but I never, like, came out my, like, entire family. It just, like is because even my family told me, like, it's kind of new, like, I wasn't really in the closet. If I was in the closet was made of glass, you know?
Yeah.
I wasn't really, you know, like, I wasn't really in the closet. I mean, I always am, like I said before, I was literally out of the womb, me, and 23, still me. You
Mhm.
know, I don't think
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
ever changed in my 23 years of living, my opinion.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like in another pod do want to, like, I talk about family and, or, like, talk about, how we are as a family, you get
Mhm.
deep into it
Mhm.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I wanted to kind of mention that too, what you were saying, Sonny. It's like some of the stuff we're going to talk about in the podcast, it's going to be like, I mean, a lot of different things. And I kind of like how we can be authentic about it. And I think that's one of the cool things about starting the podcast. You know, everyone has their own kind of like itinerary, schedule, like they're going to have their own thing. But I think for us, it's like, it's a lot more genuine. And I like how we're also like, another thing, we're also family too, so we have a lot of things to kind of talk about, relating to our like past experiences and hopefully future experiences once we kind of get to that point. Because I think a lot of podcasts, usually friends start it. I think like usually a lot of close friends and or just like people that you kind of grew up with. But like I think for us, it's a little different since we're all family. I think that's a cool like unique aspect of our podcast, and I think it's going to be
Mhm.
really cool. So I'm really excited to kind of, I don't know, explore the different topics and ideas we're gonna take. I was also thinking about you. I know, Sonny, you mentioned grandma. Like, do you ever think we'll ever get that far in our podcast? We'll have those special guests. Like, can you imagine having like a celebrity or like some semi-celebrity? Not even celebrities. Like even
Grandma's a
like
celebrity.
even our
Hold on a
family.
sec. Hold on a sec. Grandma's a celebrity. Wait a
Well,
In
you
my
yeah.
eyes.
Yeah, you
And
know what I
in
mean.
my
yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's cool because, like, I wonder what people have on. Like, maybe we'll have some of our family members if they're comfortable with, coming onto the show and kind of talking about what they think, on a certain topic we're kind of discussing, or maybe just like, I don't know, we get some random Joe who's like maybe really big at the time and we kind of interview him. I don't know. We'll have all these different things when
Mhm.
when we get to them. But I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. I never had a podcast, so I'm kind of like, this is
Mm.
interesting because I've always been, still used to like, streaming or putting YouTube videos up. So this is something like a new avenue that I'm gonna explore.
Mhm.
And it's cool because it's gonna be with like you guys, and we're really close and we can kind of talk about anything, which is what I kind of want to like focus on the podcast. I like how we can talk about anything. I think it's really cool.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Yeah, yeah, I feel like it'll be really cool, I guess, to have, like, a guest star. I mean, I never really think about, you know, in the future a lot, like, especially especially for me, I get a lot of new things about the as I was saying, um, like, I don't really think future a lot because, like, it gives me anxiety a little bit, just, like, thinking what's gonna happen, it things or bad things. But but yeah, I guess I really do hope if we have a guest star, it's something that, I really think about, but I just because right now I'm just thinking about like, us four,
mm,
just creating like,
Mhm.
just like us creating episodes, talking about whatever we want to talk about,
Mhm.
but it would be cool to get a guest star, like, cool. But I just feel like
yeah,
I feel well for me, I just like thinking about just us like episodes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
no,
yeah. No,
I'd
I'm
be
just saying.
excited. I'd be excited if we can like, like we don't have to be big. Like I'd be excited to be like, oh, like, Table of Four is at, Sac Anime, or, like, whether
That
or
would be cool.
or
Mhm.
we go
Yeah.
somewhere else, right? Or we do a live, podcast at like,
Mhm.
round one, or somewhere local, or even further
Mhm.
away. Just be like, hey, the four of us are doing a. It doesn't have to be like a full on podcast, but we're like, hey, the four of us are hanging out. We're doing a quick little like 10-minute podcast on our phones,
Um.
and just
Mhm.
to give people a different like view from us, like, or maybe it doesn't have to be in our podcast. Maybe we can like on our YouTube social, or somewhere, just have little clips of like us just being ourselves, right? Because like what we're doing in our podcast isn't an act, right? This is genuinely
Hmm.
us. Like
Mhm.
we're not fluffing
Yeah.
it. We're
Mhm.
not being unoriginal. This is us, how we are on our daily. Like it's not a we're not actors. We're not paid actors. Besides
Yeah.
besides besides
Mhm.
Jonathan, but But no.
Oh, I wish I was getting paid.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Um,
a cool thing. Oh, is that sorry, go ahead, Lena, my bad. I was just gonna say, like, it's just a cool thing. I'm excited. Sorry.
yeah, no, 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 it's all good, it's all good. Um, that is something that I wanted to touch on about, like, we are going to do, like, weekly podcasts, so, like, just so y'all know, like, there's gonna be a podcast every week, woo!
Woo, we got a
Yeah, let's
Right,
go.
a schedule. But I also had like suggested to everyone that we should also, yeah, like feel free to like make videos just on like on YouTube as well, like for our podcast. Like it doesn't have to be, yeah, like Jorge said, you know, like if we were just hanging out or whatever and we wanted to just film each other and stuff like that could go on there. Or if there was a topic that we discussed in the podcast that we didn't get to like fully flesh out, like really delve deeper into, then we could do like little separate videos like surrounding that as well. So I think that's
Mhm.
just something that because yeah, like the way that we are, like we can always just be filming like because we're just so weird or like random kind of things, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So I feel like that is something that we could also do, you know. So it's not just like, oh, like it's just strictly a podcast. It's also just like, yeah, like little videos on YouTube or TikTok or on Instagram, like we're everywhere. What is it? Twitter, like,
Twitter,
you
yeah.
know. So we're all just we're all dipping our toes with the podcast with the different social medias.
Lena was like saying about us recording, videos since like we were, young. And
Mhm.
like I always liked that idea. Even ever since I was a kid, I always liked the idea of, like, I guess, YouTube, I always
Mhm.
like because like, I grew up in the early 2000s, so, like, YouTube was something, like, new, and so, like, being able to, like, create your own stuff on the internet without, like, a
Yeah.
big company or anything, like, and it was, like and it's free, I would just thought it
Mhm.
was cool, and I always wanted to do it, but, I was always, uh I guess I was always a shy kid, and I was, like, thinking I always, like, think about, like, "Oh, like, what were people think about me, like, on the internet," you know?
Mhm.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
now as an adult, I feel like I'm like, "You know what? It's whatever," you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, no, because I think, I like you mentioned YouTube, because I think, when I was growing up, I think YouTube wasn't really much of a thing until, like, maybe I was, like, 8 or 9 years old. That's when I kind of was like, "Oh, what's this YouTube stuff?" And I think ever since I discovered the internet and stuff like that, I think I've been very super focused on, starting just kinda looking at videos and then maybe making them, at my own pace, with, my own kind of stuff, like streaming. I think Lena, I think you said you got a new PC, and you were gonna do streaming stuff. How do you usually feel about that? You excited, or do you have any any like ideas so far that you kind of got brewing in there?
Yeah, yeah, I got my new PC and it's like already really overwhelming, like especially when
Yeah.
I started thinking about like, oh, like yeah, I can stream on Twitch or on YouTube or whatever, and like I didn't realize how much stuff like goes into it, like with the whole capture card and then OBS,
Right?
like
Yeah, it's
it all just
crazy.
sounds yeah, it all just sounds really confusing and stuff. So at first, I think I'm just going to do like instead of streaming it, like I'm just going to play the game on the capture card, just capture that video and then just upload it up onto YouTube at first. And then
Hmm.
once we get to like summertime, I'll really get into like learning about OBS and so that way I can start like actually streaming. So I'm I'm excited about that because I mean I'm not like a gamer or
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
even
yeah.
though like
You're kind of
like we
starting out.
say yeah and like we all have like our little crazy names or whatever, like we all like to play like Fortnite with each other and stuff, like that's one of our
Yeah.
recently like favorite things that we've been doing together. And like we've all just been trying to like race to like get to like level 100 and stuff, and like I finally made it and then I'm like, oh, I'm officially a sweaty like
Yep. Yep, yep, yep.
so that's what my name was on Discord, but then I ended up changing it. But my name on Discord was Miss Sweaty because I had finally cracked 100 and I thought it was just so funny.
Woo. Yeah.
Right?
Ooh, 100.
100.
Yay.
But yeah. Oh my god.
Wah, 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 let's go.
Let's go. And is gaming something you're like interested in doing later down on the line, Lena, or is it something that you're kind of maybe try out, or something, or is it kind of like a long-term thing, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think gaming is going to be something that, like, yeah, I'm just gonna like will test out like once I
Yeah.
get like everything comes in, and like I'll test
Hmm.
things out, see how I feel about it, and then I yeah, the whole streaming thing is something that I'm like maybe I won't do just because I do think I'm gonna feel like awkward and stuff. So I'm probably just gonna try to focus on yeah, like if I have time, like I'll film stuff for my videos for like games, but
Yeah.
I'm mostly just gonna be like focusing on like the podcast and then yeah, like my ASMR channel, like continuing to grow that and like continuing to grow this channel. Obviously like this like podcast like it means a lot to me. Like I said, like
Yeah.
knowing that like we're all family and I get to do something like that's so special and like we get to put it out to the world and it makes me happy. It makes me have the fuzzies inside.
The
Yeah.
fuzzies.
Yeah, it's like I think a creative outlet and stuff like that. I think for me, I kind of feel the same with the podcast. Like I'm really excited about it, and I'm really glad we're kind of all a part of it. And it's something like you said, like with you and streaming, it's something new. So I have to kind of get
Mhm.
used to it. It's like a very different scene. I think with
Yeah.
like streaming games and stuff like that, like you said, it's overwhelming at first because that's how I felt about it as well.
Mhm.
And like learning OBS and all these different softwares, and you're just like, holy crap, like
Yeah.
how am I gonna like figure this out? But
Yeah.
and I think like as a person who's kind of like doing like streaming stuff, like not for a long time, but just kind of doing it and stuff like that. I think with time, I think you'll either really enjoy it and like really get into it, or something, or it might be something that you might kind of try and be like, oh, maybe I'll try it out and stuff like that. It just kind of depends on like your how you feel at the time and stuff like that. And I guess I don't know about you guys, because I think for me, my creative brain is always going off at weird times. Like I think, uh, well, before I was kind of doing like my internship at a place, I was kind of usually up at like 3 a.m. Thinking of like things like, oh, this would be a really cool video idea, or like, oh,
Mhm.
we should like do this thing and talk about this topic and stuff like that. But like as of now, it's weird because like I kind of have different ideas in the works, and same with the podcast. I have a lot of different ideas, and so I think my brain's like just shooting off in different
Yeah.
directions. But like you said, it does have like a feeling of like feeling overwhelmed. But I think as we kind of do it more, I think we'll kind of find our little like niche and kind of figure out our place. And like I said, it takes time. So I think
Mhm.
it'll be something that we all can kind of learn together, especially that we're family, so we can kind of like kind of grow together and kind of see where we're gonna end up and stuff like that. So yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know. I think this whole thing is really exciting. I also wanted to actually I wanted to ask you too, Hori. Are you gonna be streaming anything, or like or have stuff like that in the works, or what's your kind of
Um,
take on it?
I currently don't have anything planned. Maybe once I
Just the
get Lena
podcast
set up,
stuff?
once probably when I once I get Lena set up, I'm like, well, I already set her up. I might as well get myself going. But
Yeah,
but like I don't really have a plan to. Like I said, you know, both of us, Jonathan, you and I are probably gonna get really busy with with work and everything. I know I
yeah,
may kick something up during the summer since like I said, I work at a school, so I'm able to that summer break. I have that 2 months to kind of do things. But
Mhm.
yeah.
no, yeah, probably nothing too crazy. So
Yeah. And same with me. It's like with the podcast, probably nothing too crazy as of now, because especially, yeah, I used to have a PC to kind of do everything, but now like right now it blew up on me, so I'm kind of just kind of sitting on my rinky dinky laptop and kind of figuring things out. But I mean, I
Rinky
think
dinky.
eventually, yeah, I think eventually once Lena gets set up and stuff like that, maybe we can even collab with like streaming and stuff like that. We can even do that stuff in the future, and or maybe like more focus more on the podcast, but. I don't know.
Mhm.
With time, hopefully everything will settle in, especially with like I think all the stuff that's coming on with like like the world, everything's getting expensive and stuff like that. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God, that's crazy. Like for me, I'm like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, how am I gonna do that? With all the stuff getting more expensive and stuff like that. But
$7 for a
it's
gallon of
just
milk. My God.
right. Can you
Yeah,
believe that?
crazy.
It's something,
Inflation.
yeah, inflation.
Inflation.
I think
Inflation.
especially inflation, yeah, because I think for
Mhm.
me, when I was younger, obviously you didn't pay attention to that stuff now, but like as an adult, you're just like, damn, $7 a gallon for milk, like that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Very crazy. We
Mhm.
are living in crazy times. I'm just
We
saying.
are living in crazy times for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
So I
But
guess just to, add on, like, to go on with this, I'm sure I wasn't the only one. Like, I was nervous. Like, when we for
oh
first getting
yeah,
this all started up,
Yeah.
I was like,
oh
"Oh, man,
absolutely,
this is gonna be
yeah.
tragic. We're gonna have a But I'm feeling more and more comfortable. I can hear it in your guys' voices too. Like, you guys seem more animated. You guys are into it. Like, I want that, right? I want the excitement. Like,
Mhm.
I'm always excited to hear Sunny though, because Sunny's always we all have different energies, but when Sunny goes, it's like, oh, look at it,
Oh
look at her
yeah.
go, look at her
Look at her
go.
go.
Yes. I guess,
Queen.
yeah. I guess that's always been me. I've always been like, I guess the one of energy. It's funny
Mhm.
Yeah.
because I'm an introvert. Like I get really tired being around with people a lot. If I hang out with
Mhm.
my friends like almost half the day, I'm like, I want to go home, I'm tired. Or even sometimes with you guys when you guys visit, like I love that you guys visit, but like, when there's like when we've been talking for hours and kind of like my like, social batteries running out and
Burnout, yeah.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, I'm dying,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
so, but it's always funny how people tell me that like, I have a lot of energy despite being an introvert, you know.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I always like that contrast in me.
Right, and I think that that's something that will like it'll be shown like in the podcast, especially like one day when we are able to like film like all together or like film
Mhm.
separately and stuff. Like you'll be able to see
Hmm.
like how animated like we all are, especially like with the way that we talk, like we all we all like I could
I
tell
use
like
my
even
hands a
now.
lot.
Right, yeah, like right now
Yeah.
I'm using my hands a lot and like and so
You got
you
Lena raving
can
about in the room over here.
yeah, I'm Raven, my bad. Like, but that's just how I am, And so, like, even though we are all like very alike, obviously, like, we're all gonna have, different energies at different levels and just different aspects on what we think about things and stuff. And that's why this podcast is going to be just like as much as it is going to be for like everyone, it does feel like very personal to me because I do like hearing, like my brother's insights on things or my cousin's insights on things. Like it's all
Mhm.
just going to be just a really interesting way on seeing just our different topics and everything. Like, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that too. I think I like hearing everyone else's like unique perspective on things. I kind of like hearing other people's like thoughts or opinions about it, because
Mhm.
I think it's something that you might see it one way, but another person could see it in a different perspective, and that's why I'm excited for the podcast. 'Cause I think besides like streaming and gaming and stuff like that, when like you have to come up with the ideas and stuff like that, I guess when we upload this podcast episode, to different platforms, people watching or people kind of stopping by, seeing what's up is something um, that I'm looking forward to. Could maybe someone be like, "Oh, I hope you guys talk about this," or like, "Oh, hopefully, like you guys talk about this certain topic or talk more about this thing you mentioned." And it's gonna be more like interactive in that
Mhm.
sense with the podcast, especially since there's like four of us.
Mhm.
I think like Lena mentioned, she has her own kind of podcast she started out. It's gonna be super different since there's like four of us involved, and we also have another community to kind of interact with. So there's a lot of interaction there. And I
Yeah.
like that about that. I think especially with this podcast, because I mean working with like your own stuff and kind of doing thinking of ideas on your own, I think it's cool because you have all that control, but since there's like four of us, I think it's going to be a lot of different dynamics going on, and I'm really
Yeah.
excited about it because I know, like you said, I think Lena has her energy levels, Sunny has her energy levels, me and Jorge
Yeah.
usually are like
Mm.
we're pretty energetic too, but like I think Sunny's the most energetic in
Yeah.
a lot of the things, but we all bring different things.
Let's
Yeah,
go,
we all
Sunny. No.
bring
That
we
was
all
me.
bring things like to the table. Like
Yeah.
we all bring different things. I think that's gonna be cool, and it's gonna be hopefully something that people pick up on, and maybe we'll have a lot of more like community. I like that, like the community with our podcast. It'll hopefully be kind of big. And not I'm not saying like we're gonna be the best podcast ever, or like we're gonna like
Yeah.
be all popular. I don't really think about or like care about that too much. I just like the like how we kind of created this podcast to kind of just like for fun. And we
Mhm.
can kind of use it a way to kind of like de-stress and kind of talk about different things, or like we can mention a topic that we're really passionate about. And so I don't know, I kind of like this podcast being that outlet to kind of be able to kind of talk about it and kind of debrief about certain stuff. So yeah, I'm
So,
pretty
so you hear
excited
that?
about
You
it.
hear that, everybody? Jonathan just said that we're gonna be the #1 podcast in
I
America.
hope
So,
so.
Jonathan has spoke it into existence, so it's gonna happen, guys.
I'm
It's gonna
manifesting.
happen.
Guys
I'm
and
very
guys and girls
Oh
out
my
there,
god,
Manifesting.
manifest it,
manifesting.
manifest.
Yeah,
So,
that's like another thing too. Like with like, like me getting older and stuff like that, a lot of different words that I'm learning, like manifesting and stuff like that. I think
Mhm.
I was telling Lena and Jorge and Sunny about like these words that people come up with, like Riz and stuff like that, or like no
Mhm.
cap. It's weird because like I didn't grow up with like
No
that kind of
cap.
stuff, and like now these like the new generations coming up with all this stuff, and like especially with social media, it's getting crazy. I think TikTok, when the creation of TikTok, I wasn't like super active into it, but I know like Lena and Sunny are. It's like it's
Mhm.
like different. It's kind of interesting to see the different things that kind of unfold. So like I don't know, it's gonna be cool. I'm excited to
Mhm.
talk to like everyone else in the comments or whoever's watching and stuff like that, and kind of see what they think about what we think. So it's gonna
Mhm.
be cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited. Yeah.
Is there anything else that we want to speak about, like what we want in the future for our podcast, or like things that we're planning? Like, did we want to like bring up certain topics that we want to talk about? Sunny.
I feel like I just really hope that we're consistent with our podcast,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know? Because well,
Mm.
yeah, because, since, like, we all 4 of us have, like, different lives or, like, we're busy,
Mhm.
especially, like, Corey and Jonathan were saying, like, they have work and, sometimes they can't do podcasts, so I really
Hmm.
hope
Mhm.
that we're able to be consistent, you know?
Mhm.
Because like, I really want our podcast to be, like, a thing. I hope it doesn't, like I don't want it to be like, "Oh, like, we're not doing it anymore." Like, it's a failed project or whatever,
A
you
flop.
know?
I
Yeah,
feel
like,
that.
that's
Yeah.
it. Put a fork
I
in
don't
us.
want table I don't want
Yeah.
Table of 4 to be a flop, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, it's fine if, like, we're not getting, any people listening or whatever, like, it's fine if we don't do that, like, for me, it feels good just having it out there,
Yeah.
For
Mhm.
me, it
Yeah.
just feels cool that, like, that we have a podcast, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care
Mhm.
about the numbers or whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care if we have, like, 1 listen or, like, 2, like, that doesn't bother me. It's just
Mhm.
cool to say, like, me and my cousins did this, you
Yeah.
Yeah.
know?
I
And I
can
just
I
think
Mhm.
can
that's
sense
really
there's gonna
cool.
be some jealous people out there that aren't part of our podcast, and that's too bad.
Yeah.
That's
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 too
hey,
bad.
like
That's
like we said though, we can have some special guests. If they want to, just let us know. But this is just something that the four of us just really thinking of putting together, and we're like, what, let's just do it, right? Like, you
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
we're in a way like risking it all, but we're gonna have fun doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like Jorge said, when you're making content, I think every content creator kind of struggles with this. Like, no matter what you do, you'll always get people who, always be hating on you. There's always going to be
Mhm.
somebody, and that's what I think
Haters.
yeah, anybody in general. I think I was telling Sunny the other day, like I was like, you can literally cure cancer, and there'll be still one guy that be like, oh, why'd you do that? Like, why
Exactly.
did you really gotta save the world? There's always somebody. There's always somebody that'll be against you. So like, and if you kind of think about it, if that's how it is, and what's stopping you from doing what you want to do? Because I mean, I
Hey,
feel
hey, we'll
like
we'll take the listens. We'll take all the downloads if they're gonna
yeah,
be.
we'll take it. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, we'll take those lessons because I mean, even though I guess people who are be hating on anyone else, like they're still listening, and I guess we
Mhm.
have a lot to say, so we'll still be kind of doing our thing anyway. So hey,
Yeah.
but I guess everyone else who's listening, who's like I don't know, genuinely interested in kind of being like, oh, okay, the more the merrier, because then that way you can kind of just like have that community and interaction. So I don't know, I'm
Mhm.
excited for it. Screw the haters. I'm just saying, I'm excited for it. I'm just
Yeah,
going
yeah,
in, you
yeah.
know?
Right. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think, yeah, I think that's something that like we all are like just really excited to, be on this journey with each other. And that, yeah, like we all, um, like Jorge had said that we're kind of like all putting like our eggs in a basket kind of thing where we're like,
Mhm.
let's just do it, like what's stopping us from, doing something that, we're gonna enjoy and, hopefully other people will enjoy, so it's just, yeah, it's gonna be fun. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to expanding the podcast and getting to talk about all these different topics and everything. And yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
I like
I like it.
it.
Can you guys imagine us like doing our first episode now and then like imagine us like looking back when we're on to like 140 episode whatever and we're gonna look back and be like, dang, like we really like went from here to like there, you know? I'm always thinking ahead, but like I'm just thinking like
Yeah.
we're gonna
Oh
get to
yeah.
that point and we're gonna be like, damn, like we really like did a lot of different things and we're probably gonna be somewhere like super different from where we kind of started. So that's kind of an interesting
Mm.
thought. I'm excited about that, you
Yeah.
know? So I mean. Hey, first episode, I don't know if it's like super scuffed, but I feel like everyone's first like anything is like super scuffed. So
Yeah.
hey, that's how we are,
Mm.
that's how we just kind of roll with the punches. But
I
I think
Mm.
it's cool.
I was breaking out all the time, so
Oh yeah, with your microphone.
Hey, but you're
It'll
good though
happen.
right now, so don't change nothing. Don't you got it. You got
uh,
it now.
Yeah, yeah, you're good now.
I'm
Yeah.
not
Right.
moving.
Yeah. And
Not
then
moving.
I'm not
just
I'm
stay
moving.
not
there
moving.
until the
I'm a
next one.
statue.
Like
Next week you're still sitting in that same chair. You know.
My back is broken.
My back.
But oh
My
wait,
back.
where's the thing?
Oh, the soundboard, which is kind of funny. Oh,
Oh,
the
the back.
the back
My
breaking,
back
That
is
was
broken.
Sunny. That
Ah.
was that was Sunny's back break.
Right there.
which is funny because I think before we even recorded this, we just found out there was a soundboard, on Discord, which is
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
cool. I don't know. I'm learning stuff. I'm learning new stuff every day. It's kind of cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm always rolling with it. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. But I don't know. Do you guys have any final thoughts or what are you guys thinking about right now with the podcast? And I guess in the future of it, because I think it's gonna be a bright one. We're just starting out. I kind of feel like we're gonna have a lot of things to talk about, especially since we're all family. We all have all the different kind of like connections and things that happen in our daily lives. So I think like we'll have a lot of stuff to talk about for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For final thoughts, I guess like I just hope that we keep doing this, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Being
hope like we
consistent.
be consistent, like I don't want this to be treated as like, a job, but like
Yeah.
I guess I just want it to be consistent because I don't want us to forget about it, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool, to have that, I guess that daily task, you know what I mean? To be like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, we're gonna talk about the podcast, you know what I mean? Or,
Yeah.
sometimes, even and also a lot of times we live in like a world where like so many things are happening, and
Yeah.
so like,
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
true.
think it's really cool that at the end of the week we can be like, so guys, this week just happened, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so like I just
Yeah.
like it's really cool just like, we're just talking with each other. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
maybe there is someone listening to our conversation, but I just like that we're just, just spilling,
The
tea or
tea.
whatever.
Just
Spilling
The
the
spilling our own
tea.
the
tea.
tea. The tea,
Yeah.
milk, soda, whatever.
Right, we're just gonna be spilling our own tea.
Is spilling our own tea.
Hey, it
So that's
happens.
what my final thoughts are.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Jorge, you have
Okay, I
final
guess
thoughts?
I'll go. No, yeah, like Sunny and John have said, like yeah, I'm super excited. Like I love that I get to do this with my cousins and my sister because like we've always been close, but I think this is just another thing that can continue to build our closeness and togetherness. And
Yeah.
I'm happy and excited to be on this journey with them. And I'm excited for our next podcast because that should be interesting. But I'll let
Mhm.
Lena talk about what the next one will be because it'll be something.
Okay. Okay. Throwing
Oh,
it to me.
yeah, here we
Okay.
go.
Yeah, our next podcast is going to be about conspiracy theories. Ooh.
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 We need to get like a sound effect that's all like
Like a
the little
spooky
like
one.
Yeah, like or like
Ooh,
an alien one, you know? So
yeah.
like yeah.
I'll add that later.
You're right, you add that later. But yeah, we're excited to talk about conspiracy theories for our next podcast. And then yeah, like I said, like that one is gonna be more of yeah, like oh, like it's conspiracy theories, but like we're not like a conspiracy theory podcast, you know, like that's just a topic, and then
Yeah.
we're gonna have yeah, like relationship topic and friendship topic and like other things like that, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah,
We're hoping to
it'll
get
be
some
it.
"What the hell's" from Jonathan eventually, but we'll get there.
Oh
We'll
my
get
gosh, yes,
Oh,
that's my favorite. Maybe in the next one, once we
yeah, maybe in
drop
the
our
next one.
Maybe.
bombshell, like conspiracy theories.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, that's the
but
other thing, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but if anyone wants, like, a part 2 of conspiracy theories or a part 2 of any topic that we talk about, we'll be totally down to do that too. Like, you
Mhm.
guys are
Yeah,
totally
Yeah.
yeah,
down,
yeah.
you know?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
for
Yeah.
so,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, you just let us know. Like I said, we have, it's going to be uploaded to like all, like pretty much all like podcast streaming places. And then it's going to be uploaded to YouTube. We have Instagram, we have Twitter, we have TikTok. And I believe everything is Table of Four podcast, except for the Twitter, which I think is just Table of Four pod, because Twitter was lame and they didn't want to fit the podcast.
Yeah.
So that one is just pod. But everything else,
Odd.
and
But
then
if
Maybe
Twitter ever,
Elon Musk.
sponsors us, hey, like, we love you too, though, like
oh yeah, we love
Yeah,
Twitter here.
yeah.
Elon
Love
Musk,
it.
hit
If we
me
get
up.
there, we love you at Twitter.
Hit me up, Elon.
um yeah, hit me up, Elon. And then yeah, our link tree is going to be, I think our link tree is on everything. So if you ever want to see try to find our links to our different social media platforms for our podcast, and all of our link trees will be like linked to it as well, so that way if you want to see Jorge's link tree or Jonathan's or Sunny's or mine, like that's all in it too, so that way you can keep up with not only the podcast, but you could keep up with us if you wanted to as well.
Yeah, we got stuff
Yeah,
going on. We're
right,
everywhere.
we're
Not
everywhere, so
not me.
Everywhere.
I haven't posted on my Instagram for like 2 years, but I'll get on that.
Oh, same,
all right,
same.
I think
Yeah,
I think Jonathan's in the same boat.
I
Yeah.
post daily.
I know. If you're lucky, you'll get a story from me.
I post daily. I will be your sleep paralysis demon.
Right. Perfect.
But no, yeah, I'm excited
Um,
for number 2 though, number 2 podcast, conspiracy theories.
Mhm.
Everyone put your
that's
little
great.
tinfoil hats on. We're gonna be going into some
Right?
crazy stuff. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, I'm
excited.
excited. I'm excited. Yeah.
So
So
who
I
wants to,
think
who's gonna end the show today? Who's gonna do it?
who's
Anybody?
wrapping it up?
I guess I'll wrap it up.
All right, Sunny, go
Okay.
Yeah,
for it.
Sunny starting it. Sunny,
I'll
ending it.
wrap
Yeah.
it up.
You
Well,
started it and you're wrapping it up.
I'll
Yeah.
end it. Well,
Perfect.
guys, this is it. It was fun having our first podcast, and I really hope you listeners out there enjoyed our first podcast. And until the next episode, guys, bye. Say bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Let us know what's up.
Bye.
Bye. Love ya.
Bye.